And let's continue with the afternoon session. And this talk is dedicated to given by our sponsor, who is coming from the 99999 company, who was a main supporter for this event. And we had also have a long history back, because most of the machines what you can use in our GPU laboratory was coming from this company. So please, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you all. Thank you for being with us. My name is Valentin Czuczumanov, and I'm leading the Cloud and AI Business Unit here at Five Nines, actually. So the 99999 stands for Five Nines. At least this is how we call ourselves. And sorry, the title of my presentation is Navigating the AI Noise. And this is a kind of a recurring topic that we are roadshowing with a lot of conferences. And the reason for this is actually that if you are following, and I'm sure that you are all following all the announcements around AI, I think we both agree that there is a huge noise here. And the other point, which I think is very clear for everyone, that the innovation just shifted a gear. So if you see earlier, like previous year or even the year before, the announcements were kind of in a monthly regularity. But nowadays, I think we can basically stumble into a major announcement, a major innovation week by week. So it is very tough to follow all the news. And even if you think that back in 2014, there was 58 notable AI models announced, which really clearly shows that the last year was more about the LLMs and the AI models. Nowadays, they are mostly talking about new classes of AIs, reasoning capable, agentic, and multimodal models. And on top of that, there is several other announcements that we see. Huge announcements on graphics generation, video generation, and kind of innovations that we earlier saw the first few iterations of it, and we kind of laughed at it because it was so imperfect. But nowadays, they can really, really be very, very precise and surprisingly good, right? So I think there is really a huge investment around AI as well. And maybe if you follow the news, the latest announcement, which was made in Saudi Arabia, where President Trump kind of sat together with those folks there, and they announced for a 600 billion investment for an AI factory. I heard that actually the building and the whole complex that they will build there will be bigger than Monaco, right? So it's really huge. But the other thing, and I was just discussing in the break, that DeepMind is also quite famous about announcements and kind of breakthrough in AI. And they just recently announced the Alpha Evolve. Anyone heard or kind of came across Alpha Evolve? Okay. So basically, Alpha Evolve is designed to be as a self-evolving coding agent. And they already tested it, and it showed a lot of improvement. So if you go to the webpage of Google and you check out the Alpha Evolve, it's actually right now, there is an opportunity to apply for getting an early access to the technology and give it a try. And okay, now we see that the glasses are becoming the new gadgets as well. So Meta and Google as well is now kind of doubling down on these AI-driven glasses. But on the other hand, it's very interesting to see that companies like Cursor.ai or Replit or Lovable, just to name those few, are actually kind of democratizing the opportunity for kind of not that experienced coders to get a bit of experience in coding through AI agents, right? And I mean, it's really an easy and fast way for someone who has an idea but lacks the skills of coding to start a discussion with an agent and get a running application up and running in a pretty fast and easy way. And last but not least, it's very interesting what Mark Zuckerberg said, that he believes that by the end of this year, most of the codes that will be written in Meta will be written by AI, right? It's very interesting. Even in an earlier statement, he also said that he believes that by the end of the year, he will have an AI coding agent that will be more skilled than the top performing coders. Let's see if that's just a bold statement or it's going to become a reality. But the other thing that we believe it's really strongly here is the agentic AI, and agentic AI is really taking the center stage right now. What we see is that as we earlier focused on chatbots and had good fun with getting answers out of chatbots, now we are more focusing on autonomous agents, right? And there are open source offerings for that, like N8N. Anyone using N8N? No one? Okay. Obviously, NVIDIA is also giving a enterprise grade, well tested and supported agentic AI framework. And of course, all the big cloud providers are also introducing their offering here as well. It's a very interesting topic area. And with N8N, if you just go and check it out on YouTube, you will see that people are already doing amazing stuff, amazing automation, private digital agents and whatnot. So it's really, really a huge buzz around it and lots of innovation happening. Okay, so when we step a bit toward the enterprises, what we see that there is a huge fear of missing out. So a lot of companies say, yes, we want to do, let's do AI. But on the other hand, there are the security folks who always say that, hey, wait, there are a lot of security concerns, there are a lot of concerns on IPs and whatnot. And furthermore, we see that there is a huge gap of talent skill, a lot of security concerns on the intellectual properties. It's also very tough to get access to the right GPUs. And basically, based on the week-to-week changes, it's also a good question if we kind of start the journey on a certain technology, will it still be a viable technology? Will it still be a good investment to stick with that technology? Or would a new announcement just make it irrelevant overnight, right? So what we try to do as Five9 is really just to make sure that we can help and guide our customers to find the path, find a way through the AI hype and get to an AI solution which is in production, right? Okay, so who are we? Who is Five9? So Five9 is a Hungarian company. It's founded back in 2007. It's totally 100% Hungarian-owned company. And we have last year around 32 million euros of yearly revenue. We are getting to 100 employees strong. And we are very happy that now we have 7 business units. Basically, we started as a systems integrator company, more focusing on server, storage, networking technologies. But we slowly but surely expanded our expertise with IT security, with low voltage technologies, with cloud and AI, that's me. But we are also focusing on outsourcing or providing special enterprise application development services to our customers as well. And we are very proud that we are trusted by leading enterprises, government, and SMB sector as well. So I'm leading the cloud and AI business unit, and why I'm doing that. So what's my vision here? So basically, I believe that this technology can help really the Hungarian organizations to change the game and kind of become a leader in the digital transformation and kind of get to the real digital business. And for that, obviously, what we try to deliver is a good foundation, a cloud technology, which is local, which is here in Hungary. And also we are working on creating AI technologies that are practical and that can deliver real business value as well. So basically, this business unit has 2 services. One is our private cloud solution, which is built on enterprise technology. So I usually say that we democratize the access to this enterprise technology. And the other big kind of portion where we are focusing is AI engineering. So I will get a bit on more details about that. So let's start with our cloud. So why did we decide to go with the new cloud service? So basically, what we saw that there is like two extremes. One is that a company would go and buy their own servers, install their own technology, right? But usually they are kind of bound by a certain budget. And once they start to design and build something, they need to make some compromises. And once they bought this infrastructure, this technology will define their IT capabilities and the ability to innovate and serve their customers through that technology. And the other end of the extreme or the factor are all the public cloud providers, which are usually providing or offering a very sophisticated, complex pricing scheme. So we thought that, hey, maybe we can do something better. Building on our very experienced engineering teams, we kind of decided that let's build something which we know that it's cutting edge. Let's build something which we believe can be an enabler for customers, and let's make it available and let's offer it for a fair pricing. So that's actually what we did. Basically, the technology that we decided to go with is well documented, available and known technology provided by leading vendors like VMware for the software-defined data center stack and hardware providers like HPE and like Cisco, which we believe is a good enabler for our customers when they want to use this technology. They would avoid this kind of black box feeling because these are all well documented, available, and known technologies. So if you install anything on it, you will exactly know what to expect from such infrastructure, right? And if you're unsure, you can go and check the documentation. Or so that's one thing. The other thing is that this is technology that you can buy for yourself, install on your own premises, right? And whatever you install on our cloud, you can easily migrate off the cloud. So for instance, extra costs like ingress or egress cost, mostly egress, of course, there is no such thing in our data center. Okay, so you are always free to come in and also free to exit our cloud, no problems, okay? So let me just quickly touch upon the services that we are providing. Okay, so 4 basic services: infrastructure as a service, backup as a service, disaster recovery as a service, and cloud security services. And you will see that we have an AI services as well, which is being built as we talk right now. So the core services that we have is basically basic infrastructure as a service, which means that if you need an infrastructure that you would use in your own premises, you can use it from our cloud as well. It's a self-service portal where you can access the resource pool that we allocate to you, and you can freely install your servers there, increase, decrease to the borders of the resources that we allocated to you. If you need more resources, obviously we can give you more. If you need less resources, that's also okay. Then we will decrease the resources that are allocated to you. Of course, in the cloud, you also need to back up your services, right? So we have an integrated backup solution, which you can self-servicely install, and you can create your own backups, run your own backups, and even restore your backups from your backups, right? We have disaster recovery as a service as well. So let's say you have your own VMware-based private infrastructure, and you need a disaster recovery solution. You can use our cloud and have it as a disaster recovery side, okay? So all this is pretty straightforward, easy pricing, flat prices, no hidden cost or anything, okay? So when it comes to security, we tried to introduce some advanced security capabilities. So we have something we call SecOps as a service, which we are basing on the Fortinet technology. We call it Forti Analyzer. And we also have advanced SOC solution, which is a managed service that we are providing to our customers who need such advanced security services. I put NIS2 as well because we see that a lot of customers who now need to comply with NIS2 are choosing to come and use our cloud because that's the fastest and easiest way for them to become compliant. Okay. So when it comes to GPUs, obviously we plan to introduce some general purpose GPUs as well to our cloud. We have the L40Ss, which is a multi-purpose card. It's also good for AI workloads, but it's also good for graphic intense workloads. So this is what we are offering from the cloud as a GPU as a service. And we are actively working on implementing LLM as a service, uh, RAG as a service, and agentic AI as a service solutions from our cloud as well. So we are very proud for the feedback that we got from our customers so far using our cloud. Basically, what they really like about us is our predicting pricing. The other thing is that they can get quick access to highly skilled, trained, and experienced engineers who are working on the Hungarian market and know what are the problems that we are usually facing. So it's really resulting a faster route to solution for the problem, right? And basically, we try to make as tailored services as possible. We are pretty flexible, and that's also something our customers highly value. So what we offer here is, when it comes to AI, is really just to help our customers to get from ideas to real solutions, to real working solutions. And honestly, sometimes I even feel that when it comes to ideation, the customers are sometimes even limited, or like their thoughts are limited on what is even possible, right? So when we start a further discussion, it's really just basic use cases, what they found. But when you start to ideate and kind of brainstorm some of the opportunities, it can be oftentimes eye-opener as well, that what is already available and what the technology is already capable of. So a huge and important part is just the ideation and the kind of AI consultancy that we are doing. And once we have that, then obviously we help the customer to either design the right infrastructure for them that can enable this AI workload to run on their own premises, or obviously they can, come to our cloud and run their so they are workloads there as well. And we are partners with NVIDIA. So obviously, NVIDIA is the biggest vendor who can really provide turnkey solutions. So that it really enables fast startups, and it's a fully supported technology for the customer, right? So what are we working on? Basically, what we see that still a lot of customers would want to see kind of ready to use turnkey out-of-box solution. So this is what we are doing right now. We are trying to identify typical use cases that our customers like and want to make it turnkey enabled solution. So basically, once they see them, they can just handpick those that they really like and easily get started with it. The other thing where we believe that there's going to be a huge opportunity is agentic AI. So we are building on offering our agentic AI services pretty soon. And the last point that we see is these industry and edge use cases as well. So this is also a topic where we already get a number of discussions ongoing. Okay, just to give you a few examples what we are doing and what are the typical use cases that we see from our customers. So one is customer example one. We are in touch with the IT operations teams there, and they were looking for an opportunity. So they are a highly regulated financial segment customer. So they need to be compliant, and for this compliance, they need to have very well-documented environment. So obviously, documenting is not the best kind of activity that the engineers like to do. So here comes AI to help them out here. So that's one topic where we do typically, if they do an implementation, let's say they just do a few screenshots, they have a framework of how they document what is the typical standards that they document their environment. And they want AI to kind of, based on the screenshots, based on a few data, to create the full-fledged documentation for them. And the next level, which they are kind of thinking of, if they have a ticket and they change something in the environment, then the AI system, after the ticket is completed, should be capable of kind of identifying which document needs to be changed and what parameters needs to be changed. And that's what they want us to fix for them. The other is a governmental customer who needs to go through a lot of legal documents and need to check the formalities of the document. So if someone kind of submits such a document, do they meet all the legal and formal requirements that these documents need to be complied with? So that's actually also a good space for AI to check these documents and to pinpoint if these documents are aligned with all the regulations and all the requirements. And obviously, you know, we don't want to be the shoemaker whose shoe is squeaky. So we ourselves also kind of experiencing in a number of AI use cases. So for instance, we decided and our CEO doubled down on AI first mentality, and we are kind of trying to introduce AI assisted work methodologies and technologies to our work. Obviously, we are introducing an AI HR chatbot. That's the easy path for us. But for instance, we also started a joint development with an AI expert company that is a partner of ours to create a sales support platform, which will be, which is now kind of built on interviews with our sales colleagues, and they kind of pinpoint all the pain points and all the challenges that they have, and we try to kind of module build up the AI-based solutions for that, so we can really help them to focus on the real value, right? Being in front of customers. So I just wanted to share a bit on the experience that I had this year because I had the pleasure of attending GTC this year. Anyone attended GTC this year or any previous years? Okay, so maybe then this won't be redundant information for you. So just a fun fact, Jensen is the kind of guy who likes to walk around the crowd. And I even managed to get my badge signed. So, but if you just go to the expo, for instance, there were a lot of hardwares, like the huge hardware vendors brought all these huge racks there and like water cooling, huge pipes and whatnot. And he just went and he signed a lot of hardware there as well. So the last day, if you just walk past the expo area, you saw that he really signed everything and got some messages to all the vendors and whatnot. So it's a very, very unique experience. Actually, if I can say that I was very surprised how much they are focused on the hardware, but it wasn't like a huge surprise, but it was like in terms of the expo area, it was really the industry 4.0 guys there, but it was also healthcare, car manufacturers, obviously, a lot of hardware vendors, data center providers, and a lot of water cooling. And it's not surprising, right? Because my key takeaways basically from the keynote is a couple of stuff. So one is that obviously reasoning is not just text. So it's not just about the text generation anymore. It's more about the reasoning. And the reasoning is a good thing for NVIDIA because obviously earlier you could get away with a couple of tokens, like a couple hundred. But now, for instance, for a reasoning model, you need like 7,000 tokens for a typical response, right? So what this means that the token count is increasing. So you still need even more powerful hardware, even for the inferencing as well, right? Earlier, it was more about the training. Now it's more about the inferencing as well, because that's what is more generally used. The second point is that NVIDIA is not just about the hardware. So what we see a lot of vendors, OEMs, always talking about the hardware, the chips, which is also amazing, very good piece of technology. But there is a huge software framework and a lot of technologies that I don't think that we are using well enough, right? So just if think of the Dynamo inferencing engine that they have, which was just announced this year. Earlier it was called Triton. So with the Dynamo, because they have stronger integration with the NVIDIA hardware, they can be way more efficient and way faster when it comes to inferencing, right? So, and obviously the last point which I took is the AI data center or the AI factory, as they call it, which is evolving. And I was super surprised to learn that typically now a single rack consumes over 150 kilowatts per rack. Okay, and they even say that it will soon be over 500 kilowatts per rack or even more, which is crazy. I mean, typically in Hungary, the most data centers per rack are offering like 15 or 10 kilowatts per rack. Okay, so it's a huge change, really a huge change. And this kind of change also changes the game for the design of the data center. So this is where you need to be super efficient on design, on cooling, on the environment. So for instance, NVIDIA's Omniverse is a technology where you can basically have the digital twin of the data center first in the digital space. You can test everything out, simulate everything, and once you have all the data, then you can build your data center accordingly. And the technology is there already, actually. So you can really make way efficient data centers using Omniverse. Okay. This thing, I think, will be a game changer. Did any one of you ever heard about DGX Spark? Okay, so this was announced just on the CES. It was called Project Digits, and now this is the kind of the main name of it. So this small device here, this can fit in your palm. Okay, it has a GB10 Grace Blackwell chip, which means that it has the latest Blackwell architecture, and it has the Grace is the ARM processors, and basically it can do 1,000 AI tops. Basically, it's the equivalent of the first DGX systems, the high-end AI machines that NVIDIA announced. It has 128 gigs of memory, and basically it can fit a 200 billion parameter large language model. And the good news that you can actually connect two of those, and then immediately you get 400 billion parameter large language model. That's the small one, yeah. It fits on your palm. It's crazy. Imagine the use cases. Imagine how a game changer that is going to be if you have such one on the desk. Actually, the other big game changer here is that whatever you write and develop on this can be seamlessly migrated to the whole DGX platform. So you can scale it up to the highest high-end machines as well. Just crazy. Imagine the possibilities this will bring. I think it's really going to be a game changer, because earlier, if you wanted such horsepower, you had to go to the cloud. Not anymore. Okay. And I knew that the topic here is about quantum, so I wanted to bring a bit of insights of the quantum day as well. So actually, Jensen funnily said that this was the first ever conference where he invited lots of leaders to tell them why he was wrong. Because earlier he kind of, in an interview, stated that he does not believe that quantum technology is still here. And then he had to kind of surprisingly learn that some companies that are quantum companies and they are publicly traded, their stock kind of decreased. So this was the moment when he kind of had this discussion to understand what was going on in this area. And now you can see that they even started to introduce their own quantum technologies as well to help advancement in this topic. So we are really here to help. And if you have any ideas on AI or any cloud needs, please talk to us. We really want to help you either with your designing your own premise solution with well-known and trusted partners of ours, or we would be really grateful if you would work with us in our cloud as well. Okay, so that's really just the closing thoughts. Thank you so much for your attention, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Valentin. Time for questions. I would have one. You mentioned that you know, it's environment and other issues with respect to the very high cooling efficiency is a key point. So, did you have any project in Hungary or somewhere else which was related to this, that how to get the heat from a data center and to use in for
Yeah.
boring up buildings or like that?
So the news I have here is a bit unfortunate because unfortunately power costs are very, very high here in Hungary. So what we see that we really struggle to compete with the Nordic locations because the Nordics has two big advantages. One is that there is super cold there, so there is close to zero cooling costs there. And the second is that they have a lot of green energy. So what we see right now, the tons of investments are going to the Nordics. And basically, I know I had the pleasure to meet a CEO of a Nordic big data center, and they are actually heating the airport of Stockholm with all the heat that is generated by their AR factory. Okay.
That's a big thing. Any further questions or remarks? Maybe I can have another one if. Tony.
So you showed this palm power stuff.
Yes.
So do you work with that, or how accessible is it?
Okay. So thank you for the question. So basically, this technology was just announced. I saw it on the conference, but unfortunately didn't have chance to cover it on. What I can tell you that it will be provided or produced by NVIDIA themselves and with through partners as well. So Asus, for instance, HPE, Dell, Fujitsu. So there will be a huge kind of availability for this technology. And the first kind of availability that we expected will be somewhere in August timeframe. So we are really eager as well to get our hands on it, and I mean, stay tuned. I'm sure that you will hear about us once this is available.
Further comments, remarks? I would have one related to the Spark also that
Okay.
How the cooling is working. So is it a hotspot on the?
No, it's actually surprisingly power efficient. It's surprisingly power efficient. I don't know by heart, but it's something like 200 watts or something. So it's not that.
It's a kind of iron. So it's it's okay. If there's no further questions and comments, then let's thanks Valentin again.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.